quote from Abu Sulaim. There's a quote from Abu Sulaim saying that anti-Semitism is not a Middle Eastern phenomenon. It's like a Western phenomenon that was imported to.
Yeah.
Wait, what? He just said anti-Semitism is not a Middle Eastern phenomenon. It was a Western it's a Western thing that's been imported.
Okay,
to
either you've
to
either misread the context.
I can tell if sometimes I can't tell if somebody is trolling, okay? Like I feel like this is a troll point. This is actually wait, what? What the fuck?
Of that quote, or
Hello?
Avi Schleim is fucking insane.
What's going on?
What are you talking?
So
Listen.
Was a European page 16. Free words page 16. Anti-Semitism was a European morality.
Oh my god.
That later infected the Near East.
No shot, dude.
Are we talking
Page 13.
when? Wait, sorry. When did do you think there was no anti-Semitism?
Oh.
Wait, when do you think anti-Semitism began? Like started being a thing in the Muslim world? Do you think it's like a new thing?
The rise of like Arab nationalism, so like in the late.
You think there wasn't anti-Semitism? So there wasn't anti-Semitism in the Middle East before Arab nationalism.
The late 19th century is escalated.
So that's when anti-Semitism came to the Muslim world.
Oh, I'm saying there's always going to be a little anti-Semitism. There's always going to be anti-Semitism.
There's always going to be a little anti-Semitism. I'm kidding. No, okay, sorry. I shouldn't be pause ending. Okay, I shouldn't be pause ending. But that part was just so funny. There's always going to be a little anti-Semitism. Sorry.
This was the fucking 1800s.
Are you suggesting the form change? That's what you're saying. The form change. They were all these countries have been anti-Semitic for hundreds and hundreds of years. I don't know why you're saying like that it's a European invention.
Wait.
The character came.
That any country. Would you expect that any country back in the 1900s towards their minorities, did any country treat their minorities in the 1900s equal? No, they did not. I was gonna say that if Israel did not happen, the Jews would have probably stayed, and they would have progressed to live like the Christians of the Middle East, and like the Christians in Lebanon.
That's not even demonstrable by what's happening now. The Baha'is never made a state. Yemen still persecutes them. The Houthis still persecute Christians in Yemen. Christians still got fucked in fucking places like Syria. I don't know what you're talking about. Jews are not the only minority. Why did Shiites get discriminated against? They're Muslims.
That's all the West. That's what the West did to destabilize Iraq and Syria.
The West made Shiites oppressed.
Well, when they invaded Iraq, on a lot of it on the behest of Bush Netanyahu.
This guy probably isn't even Middle Eastern, okay? I think it's more believable if this guy is not Middle Eastern, all right? Because if he's Middle Eastern and he doesn't know that the oppression of the Shiites and oppression of like a fundamentalist Islamic like sect that diverted its teachings away from the Sunnis, he unironically said the discrimination against Shias is coming from the West. What are you talking about? Discrimination began when people started interpreting the Quran differently. You can argue that, and that would make more sense, right? When people started interpreting the Quran differently from other people, that's when people go, oh, you interpret the Quran one way, I interpret it another way, I gotta kill you now. Like, it's been like that since the beginning of fucking history, mate. That's history. That's basic history. Like, this goes from Christians. This goes for what? It isn't because of the West. Like oppression because of different interpretations of religions and such began way before the West was even discovered. Before Native Americans got overran by the colonists. Since the beginning of time, probably the caveman days, dude. Yeah, whatever, man.
In Israel
I'm gonna
pushed for and
shaheed
AIPAC
myself.
pushed for.
Oh my God.
Listen. I think
Which
I'm
Israel
gonna
pushed
shaheed
for.
myself. The
Okay.
entire history of Shiism is about dispossession and oppression and getting fucked by Sunnis. Like, the West did not need to tell Muslims, Sunnis, to persecute fucking Shiites. What do you think taqiyya is? What do you think the actual meaning of that phrase is? It's about Shiites having to lie about their faith to protect themselves from persecution. You think Europe told them to do that?
Almost Kia. I'm talking about like ISIS and how the West, how ISIS would have never happened if the United States would have never been formed if the United States did not invade Iraq and then disband their army and kill. I think ISIS would have never formed. Iraq would have never been destabilized.
Yeah, I know. These countries, like before Western intervention, these countries were fucking chill.
Dude, what the dude, is he actually unironically pretending to what is this argument? The Iraq war caused Shia oppression? Is that what he's saying? There's no shot, dude. I refuse to believe this is there's no way. He's trolling. He has to be trolling, dude.
Like,
Yes.
you literally what?
Yes, Iran had a social.
He has to be. He has to be
Democrat
trolling.
Put a social democrat in power, Mohammad Mossadegh, after a very popular candidate in support of nationalizing the oil.
Yeah. So
and the West.
Wait. So you think
that
this guy's just a popular leader, and then it's just the CIA that comes in to tip the balance? How did the CIA tip the balance in Iran against Mossadegh?
Spent millions. They spent like what? How much millions was it? Like
so because
10
America, so you think
10 million.
Okay.
10 million with America and the UK with the MI or whatever the UK think, and then they and also I saw a clip of you saying, "Oh, Japan was nuked twice by America," but you on Ethan's podcast, you.
Bro, who the fuck is talking about Japan, dude? Oh my God, they can't even get past like, dude, this guy's a schizo, dude. Why would you move to Japan when we're not even done talking about the Middle East? You know, I thought Christians were pretty crazy, okay? I thought Christians were pretty crazy when they said that history started 5,000 years ago. But for this guy, you know, history started 100 years ago. So you know what? Paste. Fucking paste. We found somebody more delusional than fundamentalist Christians.
You saying, why do we excuse the actions of Iran even though there's a coup in 1953? America, Japan was nuked twice by a thing you don't see them acting like Iran. And there's a simple answer to that. Because Japan has, 100 military bases? America wrote the constitution of Japan. Japan's a bitch. Japan can't do anything without America. Japan is cucked by America. So that's
really?
why they behave like a little dog.
I mean, is Vietnam are the Vietnamese, are they like, is Doi Moi, are they, I guess they're America's bitch as well, right? So America, why does the population accept it then?
Huh?
Why does the population accept it then? It's like America consents, Japan consents, but Teuton from the UK does not consent. Why? That's kind of weird.
Teuton from the UK.
Why does the population? I'd have to look more into that, but
it's probably because countries that have done fucking horrible things to each other. There are wars. Time moves on. Things happen afterwards, and then these countries have choices about whether or not they want to hold a country generationally responsible.
Bro, Kim, dude, I want him to say this, okay? He won't. Maybe he will say it. Maybe he won't say it. But I want him to say this. I want him to say Germany was a bitch for kowtowing to the United States. Wait, what do you mean Germany is a bitch? You mean Nazi Germany? Yeah, Germany was a bitch. After the Dresden bombings that killed like 20,000 people, Germany was a bitch to kowtow to the US. Wait, what do you mean? What? Huh? What? I wanted to say that, okay?
For things that have been done, or they decide that, listen, we can either just keep fighting forever and just keep trying to seek fucking revenge or some kind of like endless quest for reparation, or we can actually pursue diplomatic relationships that would be beneficial to us.
We wrote the Constitution.
Yeah, and why are the Japanese not fighting to change their constitution? Are they?
Because they were literally occupied. They were occupied. Back then.
Why does the why
I don't know. I'd say I'd need to
Hello,
look more into
Belinda.
the
that.
answer
Hey, it's
is that countries
Belinda.
do not base their foreign policy
Hello.
on bad
Hello.
things that other countries did to them 70 years ago.
I'm just saying
No sensible country does this, okay? America bombed the absolute fucking nuts off of Vietnam. The Vietnamese right now have like fairly positive impressions of Americans and fucking like Doi Moi reforms, and obviously they don't like the fucking Chinese taking liberties in the South China Sea. So how long did it take Israel? How long did it take Israel? How long did it take Israel to pursue like friendly relationships with West Germany? I think it was like 7 years after the fucking Holocaust. Most of the Holocaust survivors went to Israel, and they made deals with fucking Germany 7 years later. So this fucking there was a coup in 1952, and therefore Iran is always going to see America as the great Satan.
Revolution,
I didn't even know that.
No wonder. Like the only people who seem to like Iran are people who live outside of Iran and have nothing to do with the country. The only people who care for that regime are fucking idiots like Hasan.
It's because of America. It's because of America. We sanctioned them into the fucking ground. We sanctioned them into the ground because they're pro-Israel. We sanctioned them into the ground. We don't. You know how badly we've treated their country. We don't allow them to get medicine. We don't allow them to sell their own natural resources. We froze all of their assets, hundreds of billions of dollars of assets they sold. We sold them. And you have no right to do that. From other countries who sold, Iran sold $6 billion of 6 billion euros. I don't know how much it was. Whatever.
Yeah, it's almost as if you devote like.
And then they froze
it's
it.
Almost as
and
if
then they froze it.
It's almost as if when you devote like double-digit figures of your GDP towards destroying a sovereign state, the rest of the world that deals with that sovereign state is not going to take kindly to you. Yes, when you devote
your own people.
Yeah, when you oppress your own people, when
fuck
you
is that?
fucking devote all your fucking GDP towards like keeping them under an iron boot and to destabilizing the region, to destabilizing fucking Yemen and Lebanon, then yeah, the rest of the world is not going to take kindly to you.
Oh, sulfur? Oh. Sulfur. Bro. Oh my god, I haven't talked to Sulfur in such a fucking long time, dude. Holy shit. It has been a while. Holy shit.
America does not care about oppression. We support CC. CC killed 300 people in fucking who were protesting. Has Iran killed a lot of people. We support CC who killed 3,000 people.
Yeah, I don't think America particularly. I'm not saying America cares about the oppression, but they do care about the fact that Iran is destabilizing countries that America is partnered with.
They care about the fact that Iran is against Israel and American foreign policy in the Middle East. That's what they care.
Look, it's either Merutsi or it's or sulfur, yeah.
And also, where did Iran destabilize? Iran destabilized other countries as well.
Afghanistan.
Well, no, America's the great destabilizer.
Yeah, it's sulfur. It's sulfur.
Iraq, Syria, everywhere. American Israel, America's attack dogs are the great instability, or the ones that are causing instability.
I think for what it's worth,
I can't imagine the Middle East if Israel was gone.
Shut up, woman! What? Shut up! Shut up, woman!
That colonial cancer.
Yeah, I know. It's like it's that whole theory that like you think the Islamic world would be the Arab world would be harmonious? You think the Arab world would return to harmony if Israel was gone?
Okay, I'll tell you what wars wouldn't have happened. The Iraq war.
No, you don't get it, Hasan. Okay, I mean, sorry, fuck. Not Hasan, Loner Box. Okay, you don't get it, Loner Box. Okay, the moment that, the West backs out of, the Middle East, everyone's gonna be kumbaya. Kumbaya. Everyone's gonna hold hands and they're gonna fuck each other in the anus. Okay? They're gonna fucking human centipede all the way, from the river to the sea, okay? From the river to the sea. Everyone's virginity will be free, okay? There you go.
Without the West. The Iraq war wouldn't have happened. The Iraq war.
It should have happened. Removing Saddam should have happened in the 90s. I don't know what this point is about.
You didn't need to invade the country. You could have assassinated him.
In 2002, in 2002, it was predicated on a lie. That's a totally different thing. It should have happened in the 90s. It should have happened during the Gulf War.
And America supported Saddam.
Oh, so
America supported Saddam.
Not in the 90s. Not with who did Israel make?
2-ton? More like tons of bullshit.
They initially supported Saddam. America initially supported Saddam
until he was like crazy and testing like nuclear dirty bombs and stuff and doing. Of course, yeah, of course, a lot of these countries were once friendly. Even you talk about the 1953 coup, but it's like there were I think 4 other coups that came after for Iran. So I don't understand the fixation on this.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure. From the rivers to the sea, everyone's anus will bleed. Thank you, Chinchilla. I appreciate that. I'm pretty sure Sulfur is actually extremely knowledgeable. Like she's even more knowledgeable than Lonerbox, if I were to guess. The reason for this is because she's currently pursuing a PhD in studying terrorism and terrorists in the Middle East and their history with them. So apparently she's been banned from at least one country for trying to acquire the holy texts of some certain library or something, because she's been so knowledge hungry on this front. Like she's a total autist when it comes to this kind of stuff. So yeah, it's really interesting. It's really interesting hearing about her work. Yeah, she's like a real one.
It's her first original sin.
I don't think there was 4 other coups in Iran because it was just the Shah until 1979, and then the revolution.
And then there was a popular revolution that happened. That
it was pretty popular at the time.
In 1979, and then in 1980, right? What happens?
Yeah, in 1980. Wait. Khomeini takes power until 1989. He dies.
Correct.
And then
How did he do that?
He seized power because he was the one who was chosen. I'm pretty sure he was chosen by Khomeini.
Nope. God.
Khomeini was chosen by Khomeini. And
you're missing you're missing some steps.
I'm pretty sure they were close allies. And there was another guy who Khomeini first
I wish people would start quizzing more, I guess. The reason I wish people would start quizzing more is because you begin to dig into like the basic facts and nobody knows anything. It's just I don't even know a lot of this stuff, but it's just like, dude, I mean, like I can talk about it just because I've heard so many talking points. I've just Googled enough. That's it. That's literally it. Like that's the whole reason why I talk about it, okay? Is because I literally Googled enough and that's literally it, okay? I'm based like that, okay?
Liked at the start, but like he opposed like he opposed some of Khomeini's policies.
And like the liberation and freedom of the people. Yeah, that was the whole contention, right?
On a debate. I think if you do it too much like a moron and they actually answer correctly, I think it's moronic, yeah. But like the thing is I don't think it's that bad. I think people should do it more.
What was his name? And he got placed under house arrest, so that guy was better. But yeah, and then what did America do after the revolution? They helped Iraq gas Iranian civilians.
Yeah, and here's the difference. No one here supports, and again, no one here supports America supporting crazy fucking dictators. That's why you're the one with the double standard here, not us. That's the difference. You think anyone here defends like America's actions in Iran in like the 50s to throughout the 70s and even into the 80s? No.
Iran's actions against
Or I like how people will defend like road, like people will literally okay, so basically in Yemen, okay, just a little bit of history for you guys, okay? In Yemen, there was a president, okay, the president of Yemen before the Houthis started to form. He was a dictator, and he was like Saudi and United States backed, all right? And nobody liked him. He was definitely really bad, and he was actually like an obvious villain, all right? But nobody misses him once he dies, all right? Because of how much backstabbing he did. Like he backstabbed more than Game of Thrones on crack and steroids. That's just literally how much he backstabbed people. Like he was literally playing Game of Thrones in Yemen, dude. And he died at some point in the middle. All right, good riddance. All right, and he was United States backed. No one defends him.
Hmm?
But do you know what Hasan will back up? He will back up the Houthis. All right. So, I mean, they're not really any better than this guy. So, I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'm just saying, the great America, the great liberal America's.
Yeah, why do I don't know why you keep Hasan does this. I don't know if he trained you. Why do you?
Do you want to fight fire with fire? I think generally you want to support a dictator that will actually make deals with the West. I think generally a dictator or a group of like terrorists and stuff like that with no clear interest in dealing with the West, I think that's actually a net loss for the West. Yeah. So this is why supporting dictators is so complicated. This is why, like, when people say, "Oh, the United States supports dictators," they're really simplifying every single possible issue down to that. Typically, most of the time, it's dictator versus dictator. Okay, you have to understand it's always dictator versus dictator the vast majority of the time. And in addition, there's only one dictator that is generally want to actually be friendly with the West. Because if they want to be friendly with the West and be willing to make deals, then the people there can actually start moving towards a more stable regime, start moving towards democracy, start moving towards, these kinds of things, right? You can't really make progress if somebody is unwilling to make deals. And it's really as simple as that, isn't it? Right? You can't have progress if somebody is not willing to make deals and they're just very scorched earth with everything, right? This is exactly why it's just way better to have a dictator that will actually make deals, because you don't have a choice. You don't have a choice between the two. It has to be one or the other, okay? You have to. So you, yeah, like, fuck. This is why backing up dictators is kind of based. Depending on who it is, right? Like, fuck it.
Keep on pretending that you're talking to like a John Bolton fucking America is the spreader of freedom around the world. No one believes that in here.
About liberalism, dog.
Okay, you don't know what a liberal is. That you need to know your enemy to fight it, my friend. You keep on saying that. Yes. You keep on acting like you're talking to someone who supports the Iraq War, who supports the fucking Saddam's invasion of Iran in the 80s. No one supports this. Talk to us.
I'm just saying liberal countries did. But
okay, if you want to talk to an imaginary fucking, your version of a liberal, go to your fucking closet and scream at the wall. You're talking to me right now. You're talking to this community. No one in this community supports the fucking CIA coup in Iran. Let it go. No one supports America helping fucking Saddam invade Iran.
Jesus.
But we're asking you, why the fucking double standard? Why are you able to see America's negative influences in the Middle East, but you can't see Iran, which devotes itself to trying to destroy a country in the Middle East and destabilizing the rest of it, that its own people fucking despise.
Iran supports anti-colonial movements.
No, they don't.
Holy fuck.
No, they fucking don't.
Hamas is an anti-colonial
What is Iran's influence? And what is Iran's influence in Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, Yemen? What is that if not imperialism?
In Lebanon, the influence is pushing out the Israeli occupation.
Israeli occupation left.
Oh my god. Iran doesn't give a single flying fuck about anything except for itself, dude. Just know that, dude. Just know that, all right? Bro, I can't, dude. Dude, what's with all these Iranian apologists, okay? Iran is they have a Nazi-like ideology, okay? Period. It's very fascist, neo-Nazi, Islamic. It's a bunch of fascist, neo-Nazi Islamic cucks who want to rule over the Middle East by being a pseudo-Russia, by funding insurgency groups against other groups that are funded by Saudi Arabia, right? Like this is just what happens. Fuck. Okay. Shit. Like, it's maddening somewhat. The Nazi collaborators in the Eastern Europe were anti-colonial. So the Nazi collaborators in the Eastern Europe were anti-colonial. What are you talking about? What? No. Who's talking about Eastern Europe? I don't know what you're talking about, actually.
Lebanon in 2000. What